Hi everybody, John here with the Pulsing Cinema. Today, the Star Wars saga was released on HD digital. All of the digital streaming services, Vudu, iTunes, Google Play, so on and so forth, now have for the first time in digital HD, the episodes 1 through 6 of Star Wars. And I knew this was going to happen. It felt like I had a bad feeling. I had a bad feeling about this. I had a feeling that they were going to do something with them, and it appears that they have. They have stripped off the original 20th Century Fox Fanfare at the beginning of all the films, the 20th Century Fox logo and the iconic music by Alfred Newman. And they've replaced it with the Lucasfilm logo, along with some music, some not even something that was especially written for this new sequence. They've just, it seems like they've edited some parts of the end credits music from Empire Strikes Back and just shoved it on to these films. Well, correction, I think A New Hope still has the 20th Century Fox logo on the front of it. So we knew this was going to happen. This was bound to happen. And it's just like, at this point, it's like, you know, it's like one more thing. It's like every time these goddamn movies are released, they got to change something. There's got to be a change. There has to be, you've got to do the Han shoots Greedo sequence and redo it like 5 times. You know, they redid it for the original special edition theatrical. They redid it for the original DVD. They redid it for the Blu-ray. I mean, it's just... So apparently there's no other digital editions or changes other than the opening... Fox Fanfare being sliced off of everything from Empire Strikes Back to Revenge of the Sith. So, does it matter? Does anybody care? I mean, I read some articles about it online, and there's not a ton of articles about this. I mean, it really is kind of, first of all, the articles often position this as you have to be this kind of in-depth Star Wars nerd to even care about this. I disagree with that. I mean, I'm not really a big Star Wars, fanatic, and to me, it's just totally ridiculous what they've done with these films, and it's just another thing. I think another problem with another reason why we don't see much dialogue on the internet about this is I think the real Star Wars fanatics, the people who are really heavy into this, have already had this argument and discussion like 10 months ago. So they've already had, this has been an ongoing thing ever since Disney bought Lucasfilm. The whole 20th Century Fox logo music, the Fox Fanfare, the iconic classic Fox Fanfare, which is up until this now been on all 6 of those films, has kind of been on life support, and everybody's kind of like, well, what are they going to do? Are they going to, I can understand Disney and Lucasfilm's perspective in that you don't want to put another studio's logo branding on the front of your films anymore, okay? I can understand that completely. At the same but at the same time, there is a precedent for films that have changed ownership, that have been owned by a different studio than the one that created them, but they keep the original title logo on. The example which leaps out at me is the Hitchcock films, primarily, like Psycho. Psycho was produced by Paramount, now distributed by Universal, but the original Paramount logo is on the film. And then, in general, a lot of MGM films, which are now distributed by Warner Brothers, by Time Warner, originally Turner in the 90s, late 80s and 90s. Stuff like North by Northwest, another, which I think had a very iconic Saul Bass reimagining of the MGM Lion, but I think that's still there. you know. But at the same time, you know, there is a lot of precedent for when a studio changes its logo, you know, they go on and like Stanley Kubrick films, like Barry Lyndon, the original Saul Bass Warner Brothers logo with the red and black, you know, totally altered on the newest Blu-ray. So I guess the general movie-going public, the general audience could give a damn, right? They don't care, you know. I mean, it seems like logos today, movie production logos, the beginning of the film, you go into a movie these days and you see the credits, and then the lights go down, the lights go dark, and then you start watching the film, and it's like this animated sequence, and we're zooming through these halls, or we're in these pyramids, or all this shit this is like feels like a sci-fi sequence, and then it's the logo to the production company. Okay, all right. So it's not the sci-fi movie I came to see, it's the logo for the production. Okay. And then we watch, and there's a different production. I mean, there are some films today which literally will have between 7 to maybe 10 logos for production companies. I mean, I'm not exaggerating about this. I mean, they'll have these gigantic animated sequences, and then there'll be these other logos that are just little title cards, and it's just like, when the hell is the movie going to begin? When is this movie going to begin? You know, because it seems like like nobody cares about the logos. At the beginning of the film, shove as many on as you want. You know, if you want to change one, go ahead and change one. It doesn't matter. I don't know when people are gonna realize that the logo is part of the film. The logo is part of the film's identity. There's so many classic films from Fox and Warner Brothers and Columbia where those logos were the signature of the film. That's how the film began. You know, when I hear the original Fox Fanfare, the original Star Wars, the original way the Star Wars films open, it's like, you know, I perk up in attention. It's like, grab my popcorn. We're gonna watch the movie. When I check out this new fanfare that they've created, it feels half-assed. It feels incomplete. It feels like just about. It feels like they took like you know, a couple hours and just put this thing together. You know. I mean, I can understand putting this new fanfare and creating a new fanfare for the new films, for the new Disney films. Okay, I can absolutely understand making a break from the 20th Century Fox fanfare that was on the first 6 films. Now we're doing the 7. We're going to do the new Lucasfilm Disney ownership. So, you know, we're just going to have the Lucasfilm logo with some music under it, and then we're going to go into the film. I think that's how the new sequels are going to be, episode 7 and ahead. I don't think it's going to have some incredible Walt Disney Star Wars-esque castle. I don't think it's going to be Bad Robot. From what I've read, it's just going to be Lucasfilm with some music, perhaps the fanfare that we're seeing here, and the new Blu-rays, which are probably coming, according to some tweets and things I've heard on the internet, they're going to have the fanfare that's on these digital releases. As far as we know, you know, because again, we also know that there has been rumors and a lot of smoke. There have been a lot of indications that the original trilogy has been remastered in 4K. There's also been some rumors, of course, that you know, the original version of the original trilogy. I mean, I'm sorry, I just said the special edition trilogy has been remastered in 4K. There's also been rumors that the original trilogy, the original versions of the film, the original theatrical versions of the film have also been going through a restoration effort. I mean, talking about Star Wars, you think about special editions and original trilogies and the DVD versus the Blu-ray versus digital, it makes your head spin, and it just gives you a headache. It gives you migraines talking about all these releases and all the different changes and everything that's been going on with them. And it's just like, and you're meant to feel like a criminal, and that you want to watch the original. I'm sorry, I want to watch the original films the way they came out theatrically. I'm sorry, I apologize, you're like, oh, you're just some nerd, you're just some crazy person that wants to, Star Wars, the original trilogy, those original films, Star Wars, A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, I was about to say Escape from Strikes Back, Empire Strikes Back, and Jedi, they were not regular films. People would go and see these films over and over and over and over and over. And I mean, Star Wars played for what, 2 years? I mean, the film prints, they wore the sprockets off the film prints. They just wore these things out. So it makes sense that with this iconic classic piece of cinema that meant so much to people, that people saw over and over and over and over and over, to the extent that people can point out the differences in the various sound mixes from the mono to the 70 millimeter to the various home video. People are and a lot of people are, they got ears, and they're very eagle-eyed, and they notice all of these changes. And I mean, to just kind of say, oh no, here's the new stuff, and that's what I've always hated about Star Wars, is this kind of revisionist sense, that you've just got to accept the new stuff, and just the old stuff, ignore it, I can absolutely understand the special edition, the concept behind the special edition, that George Lucas was doing the prequels and with new technology, with new story concepts, and he wanted to modify the old films to kind of bring them kind of in, to make it a cohesive film, so that young kids who watched the prequels could go straight into the original trilogy and get into it. And I mean, I can totally understand that as an artist. I mean, that's his thing, that's his baby, that's his thing. And he has absolutely the rights to do that. But why not have the old version as well? Why treat it as if, oh, this is the way that the films were always envisioned, and I didn't have the technology to do it in the 70s, and so this was really how no, you have new ideas, and you want to bring those new ideas into your old films, and that's fine, to make it all a cohesive work of 6 films. That's fine. I mean, I think no one would argue with that. No one would argue with that if the original theatrical versions hadn't been so suppressed and so ignored, So, it made this kind of pressure to, the original versions, and It just gets beyond you. It just gives me a headache when I think about this stuff. The fact that we can't see, and that I'm like a criminal for wanting, that original classic theatrical versions, essentially, because I mean, there is a there is a truth to what Lucas says, in the sense that these films were, to an extent, in flux ever since, in the late 70s, in the early 80s they were made, because there were different versions, there were different sound mixes, obviously, so the evolution of the sound mixes was really from the 70 millimeter and the 35 millimeter to the home video versions, and then there was a big break, of course, with the special editions, where then they started bringing in new digital effects and everything. And I mean, some of the changes, as I said, I can see a lot of the changes they don't affect the film one way or the other. They feel less like really honest artistic changes, and more like some mid-level visual effects supervisor wanting to push his team forward, in the fact that we can do all this stuff, we can do cosmetic effects, we can move a person on the screen and have someone shooting first, and I mean, and that whole Han Greedo ridiculous stuff. So, I don't know. I'm not happy with the changes, and I'm not happy with the half-ass way they've been done. Definitely, with just this re-editing of previous John Williams. I mean, this is Star Wars, man. Give us something. Give us a new fanfare. Give us some. Give us something. Don't give us some edited fanfare or what have you. I don't know. I don't know what to say. It just strikes me. The whole thing strikes me as a ridiculous, unneeded alteration to an already altered, mixed up trilogy, which is in need of some restoration and in need of a true archival release, such as the Blade Runner Blu-ray, which is an honest archival. Just get it all out. Don't try to keep the ridiculous narrative of this George Lucas as this kind of messiah, perfect filmmaker who had this complete vision, and then was a vision that was only able to burst forth with the advent of digital technology in the late 90s. No, he's a filmmaker who had a set of ideas, and with a lot of other people, and collaborated and made a bunch of movies and created a mythos and a mythology and something brilliant and great. And then he had some more ideas in the 90s and developed those, and I mean the creative process is great. I hate this kind of preserving the narrative is something that permeates all the special features of the Star Wars Laserdiscs and Blu-rays and DVDs, and it strikes as a kind of a dishonesty in a way that just the whole thing is all perfect, No, there was a lot of arguments and strife and what have you, and of course some of that stuff obviously can't get out. It's not the right place for it, but give us the original versions. Give us those historic original theatrical versions. I have a feeling Disney will. I have a feeling Disney is not going to leave $1 on the ground. That is the next. That the whole Star Wars, the whole Lucasfilm. The whole Lucasfilm business model is based on a moratorium. It's based on the Disney model. The model that Disney, where you release a film, then you keep it out of circulation for a few years, and you release it again, and rinse, wash, and repeat. So they're masters of this. So I have a feeling they're going to exploit the Star Wars property to their greatest extent, and we'll see different editions. We'll see the original fanfare. We'll see different stuff. We'll see all kinds of things. We'll see in a whole original trilogy box set. I don't think that the fact that 20th Century Fox owns the rights to the original film, I don't think that's going to stop them. Because I don't think that 20th Century Fox, they may own the rights to the original film, but I think they only probably own half of it, in a sense that that probably Lucasfilm has a lot of the IP and a lot of the stuff, and that 20th Century Fox can't go off on their own and just release Star Wars standalone, Nor do I think they would want to. So I don't think that's going to stop the restoration or recreation of the original trilogy, the situation with Fox, the rights situation. I think that's going to be settled really, really quickly, and if I'm sure it already has. So, wow, I've gone from a rant to another rant to another rant. What I'm saying here is, give us the original films, man. Stop the bleeding. Give us the original versions, and everyone will be happy. That's it.